Here's 7 dark facts about the 2011 tsunami. Number 1, the earthquake that caused the tsunami was so strong that it literally moved the whole main island of Japan by 8 feet. The earthquake was a 9.1, which was the strongest in Japan's history. When the earthquake hit around 2:45 p.m., a lot of people tried to scramble to get back to their house or wherever their families were to save them because they knew a tsunami was likely on the way. Including this guy, and I think his name is Hideaki Akawa, who was a doctor. He rushed home to his neighborhood, and by the time he got there, it was already under 10 feet of water. Apparently, he must have had like a wetsuit or something with him because he put it on and started swimming towards his house, and it took him a pretty good amount of time because he was trying to rescue his wife, and he wasn't able to rescue her until basically the next day. He found her up on the second story, like almost covered in water, but there was still a little bit of room left to breathe. And he said the water was cold and full of debris and really hard to swim through. After he rescued his wife, he went looking for his mother, who he couldn't find for 4 days. And then finally there was some tips that someone may have seen her, and they found her on top of an abandoned house, still alive. But they were definitely some of the lucky ones because in number 2, over 20,000 people ended up losing their lives to this tsunami, which is definitely far less than the tsunami that happened in the Indian Ocean in 2004, which was over 243,000 people. Like 20,000 is definitely crazy, but it goes to show you that Japan had a sophisticated tsunami warning system versus the people in the Indian Ocean. All of those countries, they didn't have it. And number 3, when the tsunami finally hit, water levels reached over 130 feet in certain areas, covering buildings completely. A lot of people were caught off guard because they thought they were far enough inland, but the water ended up traveling 6 miles inland in certain areas. And then there's the story of the elementary school disaster where they felt the earthquake, but they didn't decide to evacuate because they thought they were far enough inland. And then when they finally did start to evacuate, it was too late. So they took all of the kids out of the school and led them towards a river instead of going uphill. I'm not really sure why they went towards a river instead of uphill, but unfortunately the tsunami reached them and swept away 74 kids and 10 staff members. Number 5, a lot of people don't realize, but this happened in the middle of winter, so the temperatures were freezing cold and even snowing at certain points, which really slowed down the rescue efforts, and it made it miserable for the people who did survive. Some of them even survived the tsunami but later died of hypothermia. And if that wasn't bad enough, there was hundreds of aftershocks that same day and for weeks after, making people just completely on edge thinking that it's going to happen again. And number 7, kind of like the Indian Ocean tsunami, afterwards people started reporting ghostly figures. And again with the taxis, taxi drivers saying that they were picking up passengers that looked like they were soaking wet, they had gone into the water with their clothes on, but then halfway through the ride they would disappear.